So the question that was asked was giving more power to Scotland, and that's likely to be tricky. For more, I spoke to Jacob Kirkegaard, Senior Fellow at the Peterson Institute for Economics, and asked him what the result meant for the UK Prime Minister, David Cameron.
In some ways, what it reflects is that David Cameron may be a loser even though he kind of won the referendum, because the way he won it, at least partly, was to promise quite a lot of things that many in his own party in London will be wondering about, was that really necessary? Especially because we have to remember that when when the original design of this referendum was made, the Scottish nationalists actually offered to have a third option on the ballot, so you could vote yes or no to independence, but you could also vote for new and more devolution of powers to Scotland as a third option.
I mean, Jacob, are you saying that David Cameron gave away too much to keep the union together?
I think in the end, he may have given away quite a lot more than what his party is comfortable with. And he basically, in some ways, gambled that this would have been a decisive no right from the beginning. And then when it turned out that the opinion polls were very close, he was kind of under pressure to give away powers to Scotland that his own party may not be willing to actually part with.
See, it's not just about Scotland, right? Because there are other areas that people are saying now that, well, if you're going to promise Scotland this, well, the other areas should get more promises too, right? I mean, isn't that the Pandora's box or the can of worms that has been opened up here?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the UK, right now you have this weird situation in the UK Parliament that Scottish MPs can vote on, things like healthcare and education in England, but English MPs cannot vote on that in Scotland because these powers have been divulged to the Scottish Parliament. So there is a fundamental inequality and lack of democratic representation there that means that the issue of English independence or English self-rule, so to speak, is going to come back. And that's something that David Cameron and the other parties, especially the Labour Party in London, will find it very difficult to handle.
Let me just take one issue. I don't want to get into too much detail on this, but this is important. Taxes. They collect taxes, then the UK, for the most part, manages the budgets. What's been promised is to say that Scotland, in this case, will have more autonomy and more say in the taxes that actually get spent. Now, the consequences is that I'm guessing there's going to be less tax revenue to use for other parts of the UK as well. So ultimately, don't taxes either have to go up or spending has to be cut somewhere?
No, there's no doubt about that. And right now, you have a situation where clearly the level of public spending in Scotland is considerably higher than the taxation in Scotland, even when you factor in taxes from the North Sea oil. So essentially, the English taxpayers are financing or subsidizing a lot of social spending, public spending in Scotland, over which they have no democratic influence.